Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. Now, today we're going to talk about something that stacks on a prior video that we did last week. Do you guys remember the whole restraining order accused get their gun rights back? Remember that whole ruling, and I told you the media was going to use it the best that they can? Well, here they are trying, and what we're going to cover is how silly it actually is when you dive in a little bit deeper. This is going to be one you're going to want to watch the whole video. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think on this one. And if you are a new or returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turning the notification bell on. We need as many people as we can to get into the trenches with us so we can pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation, just like we received from ours. Thank you so much in advance for your consideration, but now let's dive into an article from CNN trying to make a big deal about something that's not going to affect anything at all, and it begs the question, why? Enough of the setup, let's dive into this because we are about the why on this channel. Latest Supreme Court related ruling overturning gun regulations worries domestic violence survivor advocates. Now, this came out on Sunday morning. Now, we're talking about the Fifth Circuit and how they said, hey, if you're accused and you have a restraining order, that doesn't automatically mean you lose your Second Amendment rights because you haven't been convicted. That was the entire point. Now, the media takes that and says, ooh, the GOP, the out-of-touch Supreme Court, they want even convicted felons to have firearms, which is not at all what the entire scenario was. This is a game that they are playing. But watch how the game unravels when we look at the article themselves, again from CNN. It's funny when these things fall apart. Advocates for domestic violence survivors are worried about a controversial federal court ruling striking down a gun control measure that will discourage victims from coming forward. Talking about the measure I mentioned earlier. Earlier this month, the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals said that those under domestic violence restraining orders have a Second Amendment right to bear arms, saying a federal law barring those alleged abusers from possessing guns is unconstitutional. Alleged abusers. You're restricting someone's Second Amendment rights off of an allegation. That's the whole point. The left is taking this and saying, domestic violence, they get guns now. That's not at all what this was about, but it's a marketing ploy. Now, that was the setup. Let's keep going because this first sentence kind of undermines the concern, doesn't it? Though some of the states covered by the appeals court have similar state law restrictions. So you guys are upset because the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals reinforce state-level laws which say the exact same thing? Wait until we get further. The new ruling undermines a crucial tool that survivors have in protecting themselves from their abusers. If the Fifth Circuit's logic was adopted nationwide by the U.S. Supreme Court, the consequences would be devastating, advocates say. How so? Because if you're talking about something that the states underneath the Fifth Circuit already have on the books as law, and there's no negative implication, how can you say it's going to cause a negative implication across the board? It's all gun control. They don't want to lose control. There is no basis in fact or standing in fact. This is about it might do this because we don't want to lose gun control. They just said in their own article, the states already do this and they approve of exactly what the court system just said. So why are they making an issue? Because it's about gun control in their gun control havens. This is not about the incident. This is about the broader impact. That's what we're focusing on here. But let's continue. The ruling only applies in one circuit, which covers Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, and for now, doesn't affect the similar state laws that 2 of the 3 states have on the books. Again, doesn't affect them. So if it doesn't affect them, how can it create a negative outcome if the situation is the exact same? It doesn't make sense on any level. It's not about logic and fact. It's about emotion and threatening gun control regimes in other states. That's the problem. The Fifth Circuit said the federal law is unconstitutional because it lacked an adequate parallel in the firearm regulations that were in place at the time of the Constitution's framing. That historical test was laid out in a blockbuster U.S. Supreme Court opinion last year that has since led lower courts to knock down various kinds of state and federal gun restrictions across the country. That is the part of the issue they're focusing on. They're attacking the Bruin decision, they're attacking the SCOTUS, and they're attacking the fact that gun control is getting stricken down across the board. This is a full defensive play that they are wrapping in a big offensive marketing push. You have to understand the way these people think because the why is important. That's what we're dealing with here. And as we get in here, look at what's actually going on in the states to prove the point. This is in the article. Texas law bars those under a protective order from possessing firearms, but only has limited mechanisms for forcing the surrender of a gun, and only once a permanent order is issued. Permanence. Again, permanence. This is going towards proving something. Accusing is not enough evidence. It's conviction or permanence. That's the important piece. Let's go to the next one. Louisiana's prohibition, create a firearm removal process, once a permanent injunction against an abuser is obtained. The third state within the circuit, Mississippi, has no state law restricting firearm ownership by those under domestic violence protective orders, according to Disarm Domestic Violence, which tracks state and federal policy on the issues. So 2 of the 3 states, it wouldn't affect at all because you have to go further. You have to go beyond a civil protection order. You actually have to dive a little bit deeper and prove guilt. Weird. And Mississippi, well, it's Mississippi. Let's just be real. There's not a state law in the books, but that's their whole point. 2 of the 3 states, it won't affect at all. And that's what I bring to you. This is a marketing push wrapped in offense, really concealing defense for other gun control regimes, which is based in nothing but fear and conjecture. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.